Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see about the lists in Python. We know that Python has many sequence data structures. One such sequence is the list. Let us see what is a list. The most basic data structure in Python is the sequence, and in that sequence list plays an important role. Python has 6 built-in types of sequences, but the most common ones are the lists. Each element of a sequence is assigned a number that is called as an index, the position or index, and the first index is 0, and the second index is 1, and so on. Lists are the simplest containers, that means you can hold any data. List need not be homogeneous, that means list can contain mixture of elements like integer, float, char, everything and mixed into a list. But we know that in the case of array is a collection of homogeneous elements. The elements should be of the same type. So that we have integer array, float array and so on. But in the case of lists, list is just a container. It can contain any mixture of data. So that is why it is called as it need not be homogeneous. And the first index is 0 and the second index is 1 and so on. A single list may contain data types like integer, string as well as the objects. So objects also can be placed inside a list, and the lists are mutable. That means it can be altered even after the creation. That means once you create a list with the minimum of data, or if you create an empty list also, after that we can keep on adding data or also the modifying the data. So we can either add new data or remove the existing data, or we can change the or modify the existing data. That is called, it is mutable. Lists or mutable means we can make any changes to the list. Let us see first of all how to create the list. What is creating is, creating a list is as simple as putting different comma separated values between the square bracket. That means you just assign to the left hand side of the left hand side a variable and right hand side as square bracket, enclosed square brackets within which we have values separated by commas. Okay. To access the values in the list, use the square brackets for slicing along with the index or indices to obtain the value available at that index. So suppose if you want to access the value of a data of the list, we have to mention the which position, which index of the data we need, or the range of data. For example, I may need one element which may be the third element or the fourth element, or sometime I need a group of elements from 2nd to 10th, from 3rd to 15th. Like that we can have a group of data also. So that is why it is called as index or indices. Okay. Let us see an example of creating the list. So as we told, what is creating? Just putting the elements within the square brackets. So here list 1 is equal to physics, chemistry, 1997, 2000 separated by commas. That means what? Physics and chemistry are the string variable values, and 1997 and 2000 are the numerical values, the integer values. They are mixed and put into a variable called list 1. So list 1 is one type of list. List 2 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the first 7 elements are put as a value of the element of the list, which is the list 2. And the example of list 3, we have the characters A, B, C, D enclosed within the single quotes or double quotes. So there are 3 types of lists, where we have numbers individually, and other list having the alphabets, and the first list having the string as well as the integer values. This is how to create the list. So creating a list is putting the values inside a square bracket separated by commas and assigning to the left hand side variable. Okay. Now let us see how to access the list. What is accessing the list is taking some value from the list. For example, I need the first value, I need the last value, I need the second value, fourth value. So I can access any type of any value in between the which is in the list. That is called as accessing the list. So how to access the list? We need the index. With the index only we can access the list. To say I need the first element, that is the 1 is the index. I need the 10th element, 10 is the index. Likewise, if we give in the statement print list 1 of 0. So what is list 1 of 0 is, list 1 is the list name and 0 is the index. So now in this example, list 1 is the is the list containing the values physics, chemistry 1997 and 2000. So list of 0, 1 of 0 means that is the first element, which is the physics. The answer will be physics. Likewise, if I mention list 2 of 1 comma 5, what is list 2 of 1 comma 5 means? It starts from the 1 location and end with the 5 location. That means 1 to 5 I need. In this case, the fifth element will not be taken. Always the n minus 1, only the fourth element, till only the fourth element is taken. So list 2 has the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the question here is print list 2 of 1 colon 5. So 1 here is in the 1th position, the value 2 is here, and from 1 to 5 means 5 is not inclusive. Only the fourth element are displayed. That means the answer will be 2, 3 and 4. Let us see the output. When the above code is executed, it produces the following result. List 1 of 0 is equal to physics. So list 1, the first element of list 1 is the 0 index, which is physics. Likewise, list 2 of 1 colon 5 means it starts from the first indices and end with the fifth indices. That means fifth index is not included. Okay. So now here the first index the value is 2, second index the value is 3, and the third index the value is 4, and the fifth index, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the 0 is in the first index, and then 2 in the 1 is in the 0 index, 2 in the first index, 3 in the second index, and 4 in the third location, and the 5 in the fourth location, and 6 in the fifth location. So as just we have mentioned, when you say list 1 from 1 to 5 means 5 is not included, means the fifth position is not included. It will print the value in the position 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is the answer here is 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is how we can access the element in the list. So it is very simple to create and access the element in the list. Let us see now the types of the indices. As we know that index is the position which gives the location of the element in the list. So we have two types of indexes that are called as positive index and negative index. Okay. So here the positive index starts from, in the case of positive indexing, the first element index is 0 and the last element is n minus 1. So where n is the total number of elements in the list. So now here the example is given. The first list here, the values goes from 50, 70, 30, 20, 90, 10 and 50. So the element starts from 0 to 6. Okay. So 0 to 6, 7 elements are there. So as it starts from 0, the last index will be n minus 1. So that is the positive indexing. And what is negative indexing is, negative indices are used to access the data, and the value ranges from the first element is minus n and the last element is minus 1, where n is the total number of elements in the list. So as you can see here, the same array is indexed by negative index, where the first element is given by minus 7, because there are 7 elements here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements are here. So minus 7 is the first index, and it decrements 1 by 1, and then finally we have minus 1 as the last index. So this is how we can refer the positive as well as the negative index of the list. So that's all about the simple concept of what is the list and how we can create a list, access the list, and the two types of indices, negative and positive indices. Hope it is simple and easy to follow. In the coming videos, we will see about how the strings can be joined, concatenation, how it is done, and similar other operations of the list. Thanks for watching.